9. Showings, lockboxes, pets, security, and protecting the seller's property. Sarah clicks active on the Reynolds listing at 10:03 Tuesday morning. At 10:17, the first showing request arrives, then another, then another. By lunchtime, 6 agents want to show the property the following day. Jennifer texts Sarah, "This is exciting, but now I'm panicking. What do we do with the dogs? Do people just get a code and come inside? What about our cameras? And should I hide my jewelry?" Those are exactly the questions sellers should ask before strangers begin entering their home. Marketing a property successfully means inviting people into someone's private space. The seller may still be living there, sleeping there, keeping medications in bathroom cabinets, leaving financial documents on a desk, storing jewelry in a bedroom, and raising children and pets in the home. A showing may feel routine to a real estate professional, but to the seller, it means allowing people they do not know into their home. Sarah starts with access. The Reynolds have authorized a lockbox under their listing arrangement, but Sarah explains that a lockbox is not simply a convenient place to leave a key. The September 2025 Arizona Realtors listing agreement provides a useful example because it separately addresses lockbox or key safe authorization and warns the owner about risks involving unauthorized entry, theft, injury, or property damage. As with the other listing forms in this course, this is an example. Agents need to follow the actual agreement being used, their brokerage procedures, and applicable MLS and lockbox rules. Jennifer asks, "So anybody can just come in?" Sarah explains the showing procedures they have established. Agents request appointments through the approved system. Access is handled according to the brokerage and MLS procedures, and the Reynolds have established reasonable showing instructions. Sarah also reminds them not to casually hand out lockbox information or access instructions themselves. Then Mike points toward the backyard. "The dogs can just stay outside." Sarah looks through the sliding door at 2 very excited Labrador retrievers. Maybe that's not the best plan. Pets create both safety and transaction concerns. A dog that is friendly with its owner may behave differently when unfamiliar people enter the property. A buyer may accidentally leave a gate open. A cat may slip through a door. A buyer may be afraid of dogs. Someone could be scratched, bitten, or injured. Sarah and the Reynolds decide that the dogs will leave the property during scheduled showings whenever possible. The important lesson is not that every seller must handle pets exactly the same way. The lesson is to have a plan before the door opens. Then Jennifer asks about valuables. Sarah recommends that the Reynolds secure items they would not want accessible during a showing. Think beyond jewelry and cash. Prescription medication, financial statements, checkbooks, passports, identification documents, mail, portable electronics, spare keys, and confidential paperwork can all be sitting in plain view. Real estate agents are there to show the property. They are not security guards conducting searches of every visitor. This is why seller preparation matters. Then Jennifer points toward a camera mounted near the ceiling. "What about that? We have cameras in the house, and the doorbell records too." Now we have a more complicated conversation. Video surveillance and audio recording are not subjects an agent should casually reduce to. You're in your own house, so you can record whatever you want. Arizona law addresses interception of communications, including ARS Section 13-3005, and the legality of a particular recording can depend upon the facts and the type of communication involved. Sarah is a real estate agent, not Jennifer's criminal law attorney. This is where experienced brokers teach agents to recognize the issue without pretending to provide a legal conclusion. Sarah can discuss brokerage procedures, recommend that the Reynolds obtain appropriate legal guidance if necessary, and make sure she follows any applicable disclosure or MLS requirements. There's also a practical lesson for buyer's agents. Imagine you're showing the Reynolds home and your buyers walk into the kitchen. One buyer says, "I love it, but I wouldn't pay a dollar over $600,000. The other says, "I'd go to $620,000 if they include the refrigerator." Would you want that conversation recorded and potentially heard by the seller? Probably not. A smart buyer's agent can remind buyers before entering homes to conduct themselves professionally and save sensitive negotiating discussions for an appropriate private setting. That does not mean every recording device is lawful. It means agents should understand that privacy expectations can become complicated in modern homes filled with doorbell cameras, smart speakers, security systems, and connected devices. Now Sarah reviews the showing instructions one more time. Mike wants 2 hours notice. Jennifer needs enough time to leave when she's working from home. The dogs need to be handled. The alarm needs to be managed correctly. Buyers should not enter without appropriate authorization. These instructions need to be clear, but showing instructions also cannot become a tool for discrimination. Suppose a seller tells Sarah, "Don't approve showings for families with children because I don't want kids damaging the house." That's not simply a showing preference. The Federal Fair Housing Act protects against discrimination based on familial status, among other protected characteristics. A listing agent should not use appointment procedures or access restrictions as a way to discriminate against protected classes. Again, loyalty and obedience to the seller do not require Sarah to carry out unlawful instructions. Then there are vacant properties. Agents sometimes assume vacant homes are easier because nobody has to leave for a showing. But vacant properties create their own concerns. Doors can be left unlocked. Lights can be left on. HVAC settings can be changed. Windows can be opened. Water leaks may go unnoticed. Unauthorized people may attempt to enter. Whether the property is occupied or vacant, access needs to be managed professionally. At the end of the first showing day, Sarah starts receiving feedback. One agent says the home showed beautifully. Another says the buyers thought the bedrooms were small. A third says the price felt high compared with another home nearby. Sarah communicates useful feedback to the Reynolds without turning every buyer comment into an emotional event. Jennifer asks, "Did anyone say anything bad about my decorating?" Sarah laughs. "We're selling the house, Jennifer. We're not reviewing your decorating career." That's another part of managing a listing effectively. Sellers are emotionally connected to their homes. Good agents help them separate useful market information from personal criticism. By the end of the week, more than 20 buyers have entered the Reynolds home without an access problem, escaped pet, or security incident. That didn't happen by accident. Sarah and the sellers established expectations before the first showing. Remember this broker tip. A lockbox gives access to the property. It does not eliminate your responsibility to protect the seller's interests. The Reynolds home is disclosed, accurately marketed, and actively being shown. Now the question changes. Are buyers responding to the price? Because a beautifully prepared and professionally marketed property can still struggle if the market doesn't agree with the seller's number. That's where we'll begin Chapter 3, Pricing and Positioning the Arizona Listing, starting with Section 9. Price it for the market, not the seller's mortgage. Online Discussion 1. Jennifer asks Sarah whether she can leave the family's 2 dogs loose in the backyard during every showing. How should Sarah approach the situation? Answer. Sarah should discuss the potential safety and access concerns with Jennifer and develop a reasonable plan consistent with the seller's circumstances and brokerage procedures. Animals can behave unpredictably around unfamiliar people. Buyers or agents may accidentally leave gates or doors open, and visitors may be uncomfortable around pets. Addressing the issue before showings begin helps protect the sellers, visitors, and animals.